And we're back for episode 2. Round 1 is all done and dusted. Weekend 1 complete. Our Aussie girls did well.
Yes, they did. It was an exciting round, really.
It was. A lot of expectations were met.
Yeah.
To be honest. A lot of teams definitely feeling majorly confident coming out of the first games. England, for one, getting off to a ripper start. They look just as good as probably we were expecting.
Oh my gosh, I think they look better. They honestly, watching that game, they look unstoppable.
We'll get into that game in just a second. But to start off, we have the biggest game in Women's Rugby World Cup history.
Yes, incredible. 42,723 people attended that first game, England v USA. And, yep, it's the biggest Women's World Cup attendance they've ever had. It showed.
It's massive. Like you're coming off the women's sevens where we had a record-breaking crowd there, and now we're going into the World Cup. We've got a similar record-breaking attendance again. It's like this is massive. Like we talk about in the intro, this is a record-setting event, and I think it's going to come up in every episode.
Yeah.
I'm sure that when Australia gets an opportunity to play against England, I'm sure the crowd's going to rock up there as well. 'Cause
100%.
I mean, us and England, there's a rivalry on our end. I don't know how much there is on their end because who doesn't want to beat the Poms? But yeah, this is an amazing start to what we knew was going to be an amazing World Cup.
Yeah, 100%. I think, too, to get that crowd at that game in particular, I don't know if you knew this, but the first ever Women's World Cup, the final was England and USA, where USA actually won. But for the first ever, which I think was 1991, and to get that record-setting attendance with that game is just incredible for, the 10th World Cup later.
Absolutely, and there's definitely been an evolution in women's rugby because the US didn't look quite as strong this time around.
Definitely not. Yeah,
but I mean, the games overall, like even turning up, well, they had smaller grounds. Obviously, that was a big ground there, but you have the smaller grounds which only have about 20 to 25,000, and people are showing up for them as well.
Yep.
I know that our game, the Aussies and Samoa game, got an attendance. It was a double header, I believe.
Yes.
With Wales
and Scotland
coming up after. So obviously we had quite a lot of semi-locals rock up for that one. But it's great that they're getting around it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you watch any of the videos on the crowd on World Rugby and things like that, you just see how enthusiastic all the fans are, whether they're for Ireland or for another team, but just getting around all of the women's rugby, like it's incredible to watch the fans.
And I think the big thing is, if we're talking about attendance now, if England's attending this, wait in 4 years when people realise, because now it's going to be on the world stage. People are like, you can't ignore the Women's Rugby World Cup now. No. And people are going to be like, all right, well, I want to travel for this right now, because that's the major pull of having a World Cup. And I think the bid for the next one is, or whatever, the next World Cup to be bid on, it's gonna skyrocket because the projections must still be going up.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, an amazing first round. Starting off with, as we talked about a couple times now, the England and USA game. What do we think, Bonnie?
This game was incredible. I mean, like, USA, they're really talented girls, but for the Red Roses, England, to just absolutely put them away was amazing to watch. I mean, Ellie Kildunn, sorry, but we have to talk about her.
I think we've been talking about this in private. We were fangirling.
I was fangirling so hard, and I mentioned her in the first episode. I said their 15's amazing, and I did not give her enough credit because she is amazing.
And I learned. I got taught a lesson watching that.
Yep, she played amazing. She got 2 tries when she was playing fullback, and then they ended up putting her to the wing just kind of to rest her once they knew how well they were going. She made Team of the Week according to World Rugby on Instagram. She just is amazing. I think the hair, the try celebration that she has with her best friend Jess Breach, just her, she's such a cool brand. she also plays such a cool style of rugby, the kicks, the offloads. She's just so unpredictable, yet so talented. It's incredible.
Oh, absolutely. And didn't she set up 2 tries as well?
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking, oh, okay, this is the hat trick, and she unfortunately couldn't claim the hat trick.
Yeah, so she, one of her tries, she ended up giving to, I mentioned her before, Jess Breach, which was the winger, and that's actually her best friend. They have the same try celebration, so she gave her best friend, I think she probably could have squared up and gotten that try, but she gave it to her best friend, and yeah, I mean, those two, as a fullback and wing pair, that's an unstoppable duo for the World Cup to watch.
Absolutely. I think every week, I've seen a little bit of... they're doing fantasy as well.
Yeah, they are doing fantasy.
I was like, if you've picked up Ellie Kildun, you're going to be happy because what I watched, I'm like, this is only going to get better.
Yep.
It's absolutely incredible. But overall, England looking extremely dominant. Territory, not so much when you're looking at the stats. Overall, still looking at 51 to 49%. So the ball was there for both teams in the right areas, but England are just lethal, and they've just got this knife edge about them that they're just going to cut you up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, the possession was the same, almost the same.
It was actually in USA's favour, 52%.
Yeah, exactly. So to say that they had about the same possession, look what England did when they got the ball. So, I mean, and alternatively, look at what they did defensively.
Absolute stone wall.
Just so good.
The stats are actually extremely confusing because the US had more runs with the ball. Mm-hmm. The ruck success was 97% each. So they at the ruck statistically they were similar. Mm-hmm. Defenders beaten was USA 19 to 17. Mm-hmm. 10 offloads to 8 in England's favour. It's a little confusing realistically to look at. Yeah. But I think it just shows we just talked about Kildun then. I don't mean to keep backtracking, but that razor edge ability to cut through the defense and to be as polished, to take away every single point offered to them throughout the whole game. So impressive from England. And to also bring up, considering that they're the best team in the world coming into this World Cup, for the US statistically to stay in line with them is a massive feat as well. Unfortunately, not being able to come away with points, more than 7 points. But it's a little scary for Australia next week, and I think a strong game from the US, but a scoreline that I think shocked us a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely was shocked. I knew England were good. Did I know they were that good or going to put on that performance? Probably not. But I definitely think USA put it to them though. They were working till the very end. Their lock, Erica Jarrell Searchy, she scored an amazing try for a lock. She was so fast, straight through the middle, straight under the post. So, there's definitely some rugby there that Australia are going to have to look at in terms of defence.
Well, looking at the stats a little more, I think the major difference maker, we're looking at set piece. So England, scrum success 100%, massive from them, and only 40% for the US, which you're going to struggle in any game, no matter who you're up against, if you're only winning 40% of your scrums. Set piece in general, 22 to 9 in England's favour. So there's that technical edge as far as set piece goes that England have covered. Great rugby from both.
Yeah, definitely.
And going into what's probably the game of the round, a little biasly.
Definitely biasly.
Australia, our Aussie women, winning 73-0 against Samoa.
Which I might add is the biggest scoreline in a Rugby World Cup ever achieved. So we'll take that one on.
So we're going to win. But yeah, really, especially in the first half, 45-0. A full 80-minute game, but the first 40 really, really strong.
Yeah, definitely. First 40 were so strong. And the fact that we kept Samoa 2-0 for the whole game just shows how much, probably defensively, we were working hard throughout the whole game.
I think it's
Yeah.
it's that resilience and that I think it's focus as well.
Yeah.
Like to never get distracted. Like there's little things. I mean, we both. I mean, you obviously play a lot of rugby still now, but I even remember when I was playing. Like it kind of slips a little bit when you get a little overconfident. But to keep our foot on the pedal the whole way through and to continue to score tries until the 77th minute. That's, I think, really what makes me go, I'm feeling confident.
Well, definitely. And I think, like you just mentioned, scoring tries for the 77th minute, but it's also stopping those tries for the whole 80 minutes. Like, I mean, the game is played for 80 minutes. And if we can just have success after success for the whole game, that speaks highly of us. And also to carry that on to the next game, it's a really good confidence booster.
Yeah, especially when, we just talked about how strong England is at cutting up defenses, and the last thing we want to do is to give them invitations by showing them how it's done against our defense, but to not let anything through. It's you think that England would, they'd flinch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for any team to not let any other team score, it's huge in itself. So for us to do that and also score 73 points is really cool. But in saying that, I mean, it's not like Samoa didn't have possession. They had 42% of the possession. So they definitely ran at us, and we just were able to stop them, thankfully.
Absolutely. And if we go look into stats, plenty of run meters between over, 1,100 between the teams. 635 from Australia, 469 from Samoa. So plenty of movement across the board.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this was a fast-paced game, and when Samoa had the ball, they definitely used it. So they ran us around the park a lot, and same with us.
Yeah, Samoa not being afraid to be creative across the park. 6 mauls 1-1 in Australia's favour definitely swings it in our favour a little bit more. But you look at territory, and it's like Samoa absolutely dominating territory, 65% to 35%. But Australia pushing through.
Yeah. I mean, we had some huge wins in that game. Desiree Miller, her hat trick. That was great to watch. She was playing 11 in that game. And her speed down the wing is just incredible. Caitlin Hulse, who played fullback for us, she's the youngest Australian ever to debut at a Rugby World Cup. So that's really cool to see. She's 18 years of age. So, like I said, really cool to see us backing our younger girls and putting them on the world stage, especially at a World Cup. And then another really cool thing that happened in that game, I don't know if you've heard about it, but the Women's World Cup are testing these new mouth guards. And so what they do is they register a hit, and when the hit is at a certain force, a light flashes, and it flashes red in their mouth guard. And it's basically to protect the players from concussions and things like that. So Sinead Ryder, who's Samoa's 6, she got a turnover in the game, and she popped up from the turnover and her mouth guard started flashing red. So she was the very first one to be taken off the field and assessed for HIA with these new mouth guards. And within 10 minutes, she returned back onto the field, thankfully passing her HIA. But, I mean, just to see those in the second game of the World Cup and seeing how they work, that was a really cool thing, I thought.
Oh, absolutely. I think it brings attention to something that's so important. I think concussions are a growing fear and concern across all sports at the moment. And I think for viewers to really get an understanding of where and when these types of concussions and injuries happen is really massive to bring awareness to it. As well as for commentators, like sometimes we celebrate some big hits and we don't really consider what it's doing to our players.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the other thing. So she got this turnover, popped up, looked like nothing hit her on the head or anything. But the other thing is, that hit could have happened during a tackle 2 minutes before, but no one saw it. So it's really cool to have these mouth guards to that flash so we can stop the game and go, you need to be assessed because at some point in this game you've been hit and you need to be taken off.
Absolutely. Like we just talked about an 18-year-old player coming in. The last thing we want is for an 18-year-old to get brain damage that is irreplaceable. Just that they can't move on with their life after rugby, because eventually all of these players will have to do that. So I think anything to protect players across all sports. I think rugby is a real innovator actually in this space in general, and I'm proud to see it.
Yeah, no, so am I. I think it's so cool to see. And I mean, like I said, for the first one to go off in the second game of the World Cup, it's just really cool to see how the process works, and also that we are looking after the player welfare. So really cool.
Absolutely. And I think that wraps us off for this game.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's Pool A all wrapped up. Now looking to Pool B, we got Scotland versus Wales. Going into this, we thought it was going to be pretty close. I mean, the scoreline doesn't say it so much, 38-8 to Scotland, but either way, massive game considering the pool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talked about it in episode 1. Scotland and Wales want to have, one of those second or first spots in their pool, and this game was probably going to be a key to that. So Scotland definitely got the right idea getting that win. I mean, Scotland scored in the first 54 seconds through their winger, Francesca McGee. So, I mean, and she also got a hat-trick that game. So Scotland they had the right idea. They were off quick, got the quick start, and unfortunately Wales just weren't able to catch up, I guess.
Yeah, 17-8 at half time, so still in the game for most of it, but just it makes it tough going to the second half, and you just keep conceding. It's tough. I mean, they also, like we talked about territory again, they still look good on territory, but there's an issue, I guess, with just being clinical with the ball, 50% possession there. But yeah, massive win for Scotland, and Wales will have to pull off something mighty against Canada.
Yeah, if
it.
They've got the crowd they had in that game behind them, I think they'll be fine. You could hear them through the whole ground when they were doing that maul try. I mean, there was a massive chant from the crowd saying "heave." So, yeah, that was really cool to see that Wales were getting behind their team.
Absolutely, and that was just after our game as well. So we had those supporters there during the Aussie game. Apparently, all going for Samoa.
Yes, I think they were. I mean, yeah. I mean, we've already talked about.
I mean,
that
maybe
game,
I'm right. Yeah, no, I know. But yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe we do have a rivalry with England or the UK in general.
I guess so.
And
I think it'll be interesting to see if we get matched up with any of those teams.
Yeah, but an absolute ripper game, Canada versus Fiji. I know you're excited to talk about it.
Oh, yes, I am. Julia Shell. I mean, come on. She got a double hat-trick in one half. Whatever she pulled out after that halftime chat, crazy. It's the fastest double hat-trick to ever be scored.
Yeah, and she really clumped them up. 50th minute, 53rd, 54th, and then she waits, 7 minutes, and then 61, 69, 72. That's so mental. That is so statistically rare. It's insane.
So crazy. So double hat-trick means 6 tries. She's got 30 points to her name after one game. I mean, you're not gonna see that anywhere else. I'll tell you that much. I mean, we talked about Canada and how strong they're gonna be, and I mean, this is proof. So strong against Fiji, which I may or may not have been backing going into this game. But it is what it is. No, that's all right. But their only try scorer, Kalora Lamani, she actually was a Brumbies girl. I played with her last year. Anyway, she came on in the 21 jersey, playing run on 9, and she got the only try for Fiji in that game. But it's really cool. If you go onto the World Rugby Cup Instagram, there's a video of Kalora scoring this try, and it goes up to her auntie in the stands just in front of her. And I mean, that video, her auntie is just yelling, and all the Fiji girls are around Kalora. And I mean, just for them to get that one try, they were ecstatic.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what the opportunities we love to see in a World Cup. But overall, Canada looking so strong in statistically in attack, in set piece. Obviously, defence only letting 7 points in. Canada's looking so strong overall. Real competitor up against England this year. But let's move into our next game. which is, if I can fucking think for 3
France
seconds,
and Italy.
is France and Italy. I just want into our next game, France and Italy, 24-0.
Yeah, I mean, the end score line doesn't depict what the game started off as. I mean, for the first 27 minutes of the game, both teams were scoreless. So they were both fighting really hard in this game, which was really cool to see. And I mean, for Italy to put it up to France like that, I mean, amazing. France are 4th in the world. So, yeah, it was really, really cool. Unfortunately, France just moved the ball so well, and they were able to create those gaps and the overlap. And unfortunately, that's where Italy were let down. But they definitely fought hard till the very end for that one.
Yeah, and France looking to top out Pool D if they can, especially with that win over Italy. And then Italy now having to compete against South Africa, who had a great game, which we'll talk about in just a second. But, I mean, that game, I would say, has pretty strong ramifications for Italy, but also at the same time, they stayed in there pretty well.
Yeah, they definitely did. And honestly, I'm excited to see Italy in the next game and see what they can do.
Absolutely. They're going to want to come up with a big win next round.
Yeah.
But our next game, Ireland and Japan, I've got the Japanese jersey on at the moment.
Which got lots of compliments about today.
I have. A little tight on me. The compliments weren't about the shirt. Anyways. But yeah, Ireland and Japan going up against each other. Ireland taking that one 42-14. A strong start for Ireland.
Yeah.
Still 14 points for Japan. A very expansive style of play that they play. So I don't think they're going to be too mad about that.
No, and the heart and flair they play with Japan, it's just so cool to watch. But Ireland, Eve Higgins, their number 12, she played an amazing game. She got an intercept try from the opposite 5-metre line and ran the whole length of the field to score. But not only that, her line breaks and offloads, like Eve Higgins, she was on one for that game. So that was really inspiring to watch her.
But I do have a game which we talked about last week quite a bit. Well, I was talking about last week quite a bit because I was pretty interested to see how the Brazilian women were going to go. It was a massive feat for them to make it into this World Cup, and it being their first time around, it's a massive, exciting time for all of those players and their families and the nation of Brazil overall. Unfortunately, not the result they would have wanted, but and not a try yet to the Brazilian team. But 6 points either way.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, watching them in their national anthem, like, they sang it with such heart, and there was smiles, there were tears, there was so much emotion. And honestly, I don't think, yes, of course they want to win, but I think they are just absolutely happy to be there and soaking up all of it. So, yeah.
Well, they absolutely deserve it. And you look at their results, they've only improved since qualifying. So they're going to be looking to the future a bit, but it is bigger than just rugby. It's about the opportunity that Brazil now has this year. And it's not like they were completely beat in all facets of the game by any means. Like for ruck consistency, they won in the ruck 97% of the time compared to 96%. So they're in the game. It's just, unfortunately, on the ball, they didn't look threatening, unfortunately. But the game is so much more than that.
No, definitely. But I mean, in saying that, South Africa, it's so good to see them get a win again. Aziza Heli, the number 8 for them, hat-trick. I mean, it was hat-trick central this round. But she played amazing. Her ball skills, not just her running, are great. Yeah, it's their first Rugby World Cup win since 2014. So like I said, it's so good to see them win again. And it's their personal best win ever in a Rugby World Cup.
Oh, so massive
I mean,
for everyone.
For South Africa, they had massive feats in this game.
And it's going to give them a bit of confidence going up against Italy, trying to get that spot in finals as well, obviously.
Definitely. But, yeah, no, my favourite part about this game, though, was that in the 49th minute, so 10 minutes, 9-ish minutes into the second half, the bomb squad, which for anyone who doesn't know, that's the reserves. The bomb squad was unleashed. They subbed every reserve on at one time to replace their team. So, I mean, that was just incredible to watch them all running on.
It's become a South African special now.
Yeah, just sub the whole bench on.
I mean, if it works, it works. It's become a signature of South Africa, and the bomb squad, the name alone is terrifying. But I mean, I'd love to see that. Like, we're seeing the culture of rugby go across both both men and women. I'm so happy to see it, and I'm excited to see them during the rest of this World Cup, because they are going to be pushing to make it into finals, if they can. But a massive contender this year, and our last winner of a Women's World Cup, New Zealand up against Spain for our final game of the round, 54-8 against Spain. Spain, I mean, they had extremely tough competition. This is debatably one of the scariest, if not the scariest side to go up against.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, they didn't put their best team forward, but they still put an amazing team forward against Spain. So, it showed. But, I mean, Spain had some heart, definitely defensively. They were holding New Zealand out and putting them under pressure. The amount of errors that they forced on New Zealand was really cool to see from them.
Well, Cristana Blanco Herrera herself alone, 18 tackles, the leading tackler in the game from both teams. So a massive effort on defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, like I mentioned in episode 1, my favourite player for this is Georgia Miller, 21 years of age, playing number 7. She scored 2 tries and was subbed off at halftime. So who knows what she could have achieved.
Held back.
Yeah, held back. But rightly so. I mean, I don't think New Zealand were looking for a blowout round. They just wanted to figure out how they wanted to play in this World Cup. So, I think
it's massive confidence for them.
Massive confidence. And Portia Woodman played 23, who's usually their starting winger. And Portia Woodman, I mean, remember that name because you will. It was her 21st Rugby World Cup try that she scored in that game after getting subbed on. So, I mean, there's plenty more of that to see.
I just want to have a look at these tackles. 30 tackles from New Zealand throughout the full 80 minutes and 157. That is a absolute blowout stat. But that is pure heart. And
Spain were incredible defensively. They forced so many errors and made so many tackles. Like I said, it's so cool to watch because they actually put it to what could be maybe the winners of the World Cup.
And that's the major thing about actually taking the time to watch the games in this World Cup is that, the scores, they say one thing, but the games are a whole nother deal.
Different.
These are players playing for their country, for their families, for everything. It is not as much of a... I mean, if you see this in an exhibition match, you might see it as a bit of a pushover match or something like that. But when you're watching it, it is anything but a pushover across all of these games.
Definitely. And, I mean, if you watch... You can't see the heart that these teams have unless you watch the games. I mean, Spain, they got that one try, and it was a pick and drive try by Ines. I'm not even going to try and say her last name, but she played number 17, so run on prop for them, pick and drive, and they celebrated like they just won the game. So that is something that you can't get from the...
Stats don't tell you that. I love the stats, don't get me wrong, but the stats don't tell you that at all. But I think that wraps us up for reviewing games. Now we're going to take a quick preview into next week and what these mean across the tables. Our first game is Canada and Wales. Canada looking to continue from strength to strength once again. Wales looking to maybe an upset, but overall looking to put in a decent performance.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it'll definitely be a good game to watch if you can. It's at 9 p.m. on that Saturday. So, it'll be an interesting one to watch. Yeah,
a must win for Wales, but Canada looking to continue there. Then we've got Scotland and Fiji, Pool B again. Scotland, if they're going to hold on to that second spot, they need to take this one. Fiji, I mean... It's going to be tough for them again, but with Scotland needing so much out of that game, they're going to be throwing everything in there.
Yeah, but I think it'll it'll be good for Fiji to put a bit more of their rugby on show. And again, I think against Scotland they'll be able to do that. So, I mean, I'm hoping to see a fast-paced game and lots of offloads in that game. So
Absolutely.
I think that'll be
we
exciting.
did talk about. I can't backtrack on what I said before. Like, they do play super exciting rugby, so let's hope they have a bit more time and space up against Scotland. Now back to Pool A, we've got England and Samoa going up against each other. I mean, England are just like similar to Canada, pushing to continue the
pushing
momentum.
to continue, and I think Samoa will come out. They've had that round against the Wallaroos, so they've got probably a bit more drive to at least get some points on the board this time. So they'll definitely be putting their best foot forward and their best team forward against England.
And no matter who the teams are, the games are only going to get better as these players get an opportunity to get on the field.
And the other thing is they've had time now to watch what England have and analyse what they played like. So, yeah, I think that'll be good. I think England definitely will be strong, but it'll be good for Samoa to see what they can pull off against that game.
Absolutely. And then we have the US and Australia Sunday morning at 4:30 for those who are willing to get up.
And if you are willing to get up, it's a good one to get up for because this is probably our decider in terms of where we sit in the pool.
Yeah, this is make it or break it effectively for our World Cup. And a game with a little bit of history. We've seen the US and Australia go a bit of a rivalry is forming just due to form against each other.
Yeah.
Both bringing it on different occasions. We took the last time. The last game against each other.
But it's definitely been tit for tat, so it's anyone's game.
Absolutely. And the US definitely keen to make it into those finals just as much as we are, but go the Aussies.
Yes, go the Wallaroos.
And then we have Ireland and Spain the same night after that game. Ireland looking to look strong against Spain and slip in behind New Zealand in their pool. Not going to be holding back.
No, definitely not. Ireland, they'll move the ball around and Spain will hit them hard. So it'll be a cool one to watch, see what Ireland can do and also see what Spain can do with ball in hand again.
Yeah, we saw passion once. I'm sure we're going to see it again.
Definitely.
And then we have the mighty New Zealanders up against Japan, who I guess I might as well go for them.
Yeah, you might as well with that jersey on.
Yeah, I might as well. But yeah, I'd love to see some expansive footy from Japan, but New Zealand, I mean, they're looking so good.
They look, I've said incredible too many times on this podcast so far, but it's
an incredible World Cup.
Incredible.
Maybe we should rename it to the Incredible World Cup.
Well, maybe we should, but amazing New Zealand, and again, I don't know if they will be putting their best team forward. I think with their pool, they've got the ability to chop and change in between players and allowing players to rest. It'll be cool to see who they put up against Japan. But overall, I think it will be a really cool game. Japan, obviously, like we said, so much passion. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Italy and South Africa going up for a potential second place. Italy looking as favourites going into that by a somewhat margin, but South Africa will not be letting that out.
No, not at all. After their win, I think they'll be looking to keep Italy at 0 for a second game. Honestly, I think they'll be looking to come out and just blitz it again.
Is this your upset of the round?
Maybe.
Don't tell me, mate. I'm gonna ask you for a prediction here because I mean,
honestly, I think it could be. I think South Africa have it. I mean, the fact that they just pulled off their biggest Rugby World Cup win, and I mean, we all know how much heart South Africa has in rugby. I think they will genuinely be looking to keep Italy at 0 for a second game.
Absolutely, I'm excited now, eh? And then we have France and Brazil. Brazil, plenty of heart once again. France looking really, really good. I
think it'll be what it is, unfortunately. Brazil may be able to pull something off against
I mean,
France.
we could see Brazil's first Rugby World Cup, Women's Rugby World Cup try.
Yes, which would be amazing. And
I mean,
whenever that happens, and hopefully it does happen in this World Cup for them, that's going to be amazing to watch and an amazing moment in Rugby World Cup history, and especially for them. So, yeah, I mean, if it's against France, that's their best bet because it's the best team that they have in their pool. And if they can get a try against that team, that'll mean the world to them.
That, I'm sure it will. And that wraps up our preview for the round. As we said, the rugby's only going to get better. The rugby was super strong for the first week.
Strong.
The passion was at an all-time high, and it's only going to get better throughout every week as these players, one, get used to probably the sleep schedules,
Yes.
and also get more ball in hand because women's rugby getting an opportunity to play is the biggest limiting factor. So as these players go from game to game to game, I think that it is going to increase the footy all around.
Well, definitely. I think, any team that's won in this first round is going to be looking to continue that, but any team that's lost is looking for redemption this round. So it'll be an exciting round. It'll be telling of probably the rest of what the World Cup looks like for some teams. And I think it'll just be, again, a great display of women's rugby.
Yeah, so make sure to tune in to Australia's game against the US, whether it is live or the next morning. Make sure to keep an eye on it because this is really our World Cup. I mean, look, worst case scenario, we don't come out with the points there. It'll be an uphill battle. It'll get complicated, but there's a sporting chance in it in every way.
Yes, there definitely is. But, like James said, if you can watch that game, watch it because it'll probably be the best game of our pool.
Absolutely, and then we have to get excited for finals. But then there's another week in there as well, which these teams who are going strong up against each other, they're inevitably going to have to go up against each other. So plenty to be excited about. This is our Rugby World Cup, Women's Rugby World Cup so far.
Yep.
Are you happy? Are you
I'm
excited?
excited. I'm so excited. I mean, the players we've talked about, Ellie Kildun, we're both fangirling.
Oh, absolutely. No,
I can't wait to see her against Samoa.
That's some of the best rugby I've seen. End of story.
Oh my gosh, I just think she's the coolest person ever. So if you take anything away from this podcast, look up Ellie Kildun because she's the coolest human I've ever seen.
Yeah, watch her highlights from the
Watch
last
her
game.
highlights.
Watch her highlights from the
Just
next
look at
game
her
because they're
hair.
gonna. Yeah, I did want to say that. I was like, that's also.
Her hair is the coolest thing about her.
Yeah.
She's honestly such a brand as a human and a rugby player. So if you take anything away from this podcast, look up Ellie Kildun.
We do love really fun hair in rugby across any game.
Yeah, actually, sorry, just to add on to this, completely away, but Brazil,
Oh,
they're
yes.
10. She has amazing hair. She actually spiced it up into a mohawk and puts green glitter through it. So I mean,
did see that was amazing.
maybe we could have hair of the round. So that was Raquel Cocken, for the 10 for Brazil. So
There's plenty to watch in all of these games. Get around it as much as you can. Because it's only on for so many weeks.
Yes.
But the rest of the month, let's enjoy it.
yes,
As much as we can. But I think that's us for Cupside commentary.
yeah, I think it is, and I'm excited for next week's episode.
Absolutely. So goodbye to our sleep schedules.
Yes,
And hello to round 2. We'll see you next week. I've been James.
and I've been Bonnie.
Enjoy the next round.
Enjoy.